What's up, you guys? Um, Good evening, good night, whatever time you're watching this. But pretty much, welcome to the Mom and Son talk show. And we have missed two episodes. Last week, I'll blame it on me for being sick. And then week before that,
I was out of town.
Mom was out of town, so Victor didn't want to carry the torch. But other than that, we'll get right into it.
Energy drink, yeah. I made 2 videos on that, and yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah, C4, 2 to 3 minutes, where it's just you and your thoughts.
Buying a house, buying a car, having jewelry, whatever that looks like for you. But is that how you're going to be remembered?
Oh, yeah, which there's literally, like I'm always saying this one, there is a positive to everything, right? And that's how successful people really learn and how they get to it. And I guess we can pick up today's topic by pretty much what we were talking about, or what we were talking about this morning in aspects of. So on today's topic, we're going to pretty much keep going with the conversation that we were having this morning. Obviously, we'll start from fresh with you guys. And pretty much it's the terminology or the idea that it's you versus you in life, right? You are your own dictator. Besides that, God helping you, right? And we'll get into that, but I think that this is going to be a message for a lot of people out there. That not if, let's say you weren't, or you're not someone that wants to become successful financially, but maybe you are having that moment in life where it's with school or stuff like that. Like, this message really pertains to everybody. There's not a specific line that it doesn't. You can be a parent, you can be someone in a relationship. Like, how this message speaks to you is how you should read it, right? Or understand it. But I'll go ahead and start, and let's get right into it. So in today's whole episode, right, we were talking about, you are your only person. You are you. It's always going to be you versus you. And when it comes down to whatever you do in life, it's really always going to be you yourself when you fight. I'm a big believer that God is the person that gives you the tools, and you decide to do what you do with them. Now, if you want to be a negative Nancy about everything, you be a negative Nancy, but you're not going to get far. I'm sorry, that's literally the truth. That's how I see it, right? So, it's no matter what, you can't blame things on nobody else but yourself, right? When God gives you the tools, and the biggest thing is, God's never going to give you a storm you cannot handle, right? If you really think about it and you sit there and study it, God gives you everything you need in that storm or anything you go through. Could it be difficult? Yeah, but there's literally, like my mom was saying this morning, there is a positive to everything, right? And that's how successful people really learn and how they get to things, because every failure has a lesson to it. And that's where you learn that. You learn that no matter what, it's always going to be you versus you. It's always going to be, how can I better myself? And this weekend's message with Stephen Frederick was very, very, very nice. Because it was talking about that, right? So it was talking about, like, shushing everything and shushing the bad mindset and the bad, like, things that you were going through. And it's just so important, because we get lost in that. We get lost in the negative side. Like, it's so much easier, because that's always how it's going to be. It's a lot easier to just give up. It's a lot easier to just stop doing things than to keep going and fighting it. And it's very interesting to me that message, kind of, that's what happened. And we're at a point where we're talking about it this week without, like, my mom watching or Victor watching that message. I watched it, and I always tell them to watch it and stuff like that. So it's very interesting that we're there, and it just goes to show you that God is a very mysterious worker, and it goes to show you that the lessons that you need to learn in life, right? And yeah, I feel like you have to not give up on yourself. You have to learn to look at things as lessons, not as failures, and learn from that mistake. If you decided to make a business and it didn't go the right way in life, I feel like people need to learn to look at things the right way. If that's, hey, what can I take this failure to the next one? if it's marketing, if it's this or that. And someone that's going to school, you know, if you fail the test, it's more like ask yourself, oh, how can I do better the next test? You know, if it's more studying, if it's this or that. Like, that's how I feel like people should start seeing it, you know, like that's how I generally feel like it should be. And that's how I've gotten myself get better in trading. Like, I started to realize that, and I started to understand that how can I win from this loss and make myself win next trade, you know? Like, that's how I kind of see it. And it's all about how you see things. It's all about perspective in anything in life, you know?
So I started to look at my life, and I've shared this in the podcast several times about, you know, when Ivan passed away, and how ever since then I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I do a lot of like thinking, overthinking, reflecting. I do all sorts of things during that time. And I think that as I look at everything that has happened, the past 3 months for me have been, I guess I got stuck. I felt stuck in a very negative atmosphere. And I think that at me being there, I've pushed that on my household. I've pushed that on my employees. I've pushed all of that down to them and to my surroundings. And so as I was thinking about it, which is what I shared with Efrain earlier this morning, was exactly that. It's like, you know, I decided on Monday to tell my entire staff that I don't want to hear any more negative. I want us to look at everything in a positive mindset. That means, yes, there's going to be things that are going to happen to us, and we're going to be pissed off. We're going to be super mad at the fact that the doctor didn't do something, or that we're trying to get the patient the care that they want or what they think that they need, but then the doctor disagrees. Well, how can we turn that negative into a positive? And I think that in my morning huddles, I want to continue to do those things, right? To have those conversations with them and say, okay, this is a scenario that happened yesterday. How do you handle this scenario? And how do you convert this into a positive scenario? And so I think that we need to do that in our lives. We need to self-reflect and ensure that we're looking at things in a more positive way, because it's very easy to have the freaking pity party. And I have, for the past 3 months, I've been having a pity party about my fucking self. I have a pity party about my life, my relationship, my fucking job, it's been a pity party. It has. And I've put myself in that situation. And I don't want neither my best friend when she calls me or anybody calls me, that it just becomes, again, a bitching party. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. Yeah, I just don't want to be in that place. I don't want that when people call me, they feel like, oh, Jeanette is going to say something else, or she's going to complain about something else, and that's what it's going to be about. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that people call to be, oh man, you know what? I love talking to Jeanette. It's great. It leaves me in a positive mindset, or, you know, I gave value to that person. And it's okay. It's not going to be perfect. But it's very easy for us to get stuck in those things based on our experiences, our relationships, what's going on, our bank account, our bills, so on and so forth. So again, you know, and sorry for the bad language. It's just me being real and being who I am. You know, I'm not here to sell millions. I'm here to be real. And you know, this podcast began from an idea of how do we look at things as our age gaps are different, right? I'm 16 years older than Efrain. I'm 21 years older than Victor. And Efrain and Victor are 4 years apart. How different generations view things. And again, that's what this is, right? This is us being real and bringing you to our home, our family, you know, our dogs. But most definitely just telling you our point of views. And definitely always looking for you guys to share if you resonate with our thoughts or if you look at it differently. So we'd love to hear from you guys in the chat.
So,
We started very aggressive there, I'm not gonna lie. I was very calm,
Yeah.
you know, explaining people like,
I think that there's two big parts. I think first I want to touch on Efrain's part before I forget it. Although I kind of see where your head's at with the whole shushing thing, I think it's
I didn't really even.
I think it's very powerful, and I think it's very important that you don't just silence the negativity, but you first realize that it's A, there, B, why is it there, and C, how do you move past it, because I think that's how progress really occurs. Now, it's also how you diffuse it. And I'm talking personally through my life that I've had very little years of living, but what I've done is I will always sit there and see a situation presented in front of me, and you first have to say, okay, what can I affect from it? What parts of my life is affected from it, and what can I do to change it? And if any one of those answers is nothing, then that's one of those things where you have to just struggle bust it and just see the good that's going to come from it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to learn something from it. And I think that there's always in my head this beauty of that kind of struggle or that kind of emotional, physical roller coaster that you kind of have to go through. So personally, I say don't just silence it, but first analyze it.
Well, that's what the therapist tells you when you have, intrusive thoughts, or is to acknowledge it and say, this is not really what I'm really feeling, right? Like, this is just acknowledge it for what it is, right? And so there's nothing wrong with you acknowledging it, but it's all about you if you stay there. Is my
Yeah,
point,
that's
right?
that's where negativity doesn't happen from. That's where I was going to get to your point, where you can have pity parties in the sense of you should be able to have that camaraderie and people to go to for your situation, but at the same time you shouldn't make it an effort that every conversation leads to that destination, because that's not what you should be there for, right? Because you should find a way through that, not make that what you are speaking to all the time. And I think that I forgot what his name is, but there was a guy that he does like multiple TED Talks, and he's actually a really powerful motivational speaker, I think. But he spoke about the idea of friendship, and that you taking away the ability of me being able to be stuck in the mud with you is not necessarily selfish on you, but it's selfish on you on the side of friendship. Because it is my honor as your friend to struggle bus your situation with you. And I feel like that's really important.
It is. Yeah.
But
it is.
to live in that state of constant negativity, this is where you're not, you go back to the car analogy, you're always too focused on what's behind you and not trying to focus on trying to get past it and what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not a state of mind where you kind of want to be at when you're trying to move forward through your life.
Yeah. I think that exactly, like, you sit in these patches, and everybody has, right? Like, even with friendships, with relationships, with your career, where you're gonna have moments where you're very negative, but it's all about changing that mindset, and I think turning it around to say, you know what, I need to do better. Not everything is like bad and sad and upsetting, and and you can't live like that. Be proud of what you've accomplished today. And you know what, if you have nothing else to be thankful for, be thankful that you're alive and you're not sitting at a hospital.
I definitely agree. The thing to me is more like, so like how Stephen Frederick was really explaining it, right? Like, it's not about not listening to it. It's more about why worry about or stress about, let me see how to really put this. Like for myself, right? So why sit there and listen to your negativity all the time? Can you sit there and address it, blah, blah, blah? Yes. But at the same time, it's about not sitting there and letting it take effect or take over you, and you being procrastination about things and listening to it and not getting things done because, this, that, or letting yourself fail and quitting at something just because you're having that idea of, I'm a failure at it. You're a failure until you decide to keep going. That's just the truth. Like, that's just reality of it, because it would always be a what if until you continue to do it and you really deep down know, or God takes you out of that. But that's why Stephen's message for me was so deep, because for me, like on a day-to-day basis while I'm trading, I have so many things that are going into my mind that sometimes I miss a trade just because I'm scared of what if I lose. But at the same time, reality of it is, if I'm getting into a trade, and this really goes to anything in life, if I'm getting into a trade, I'm getting into it because I know that at the end of the day, it's a probability, and I'm getting in because I know this is something that I studied, it's something that I backtested, and I'm only getting into trades or things that are good for me. I'm not getting into just a random trade. I practiced for that. I backtested that. Wait 1 second. And I did everything I needed to do, that I know this. Now, at the end of the day, it's a probability game. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. But you have to have trust in God. Not saying, I trade because of God. No, like, yes, I feel like I do it because of the stuff I've been through and God has shown it to me. But not saying that God's going to make me win every trade. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's more saying that it's a probability game. It's going to go your way because you did that and you believe that's going to go your way because you studied that and you've seen that over and over again. So even in life, you want to become a successful person, you're not going to become a successful person off of the first business. It's not that it's physically impossible, but it's more like it's not going to be so easy. It's going to take time. It's going to take risk. It's going to take a lot of depression moments. It's going to take a lot of like sad moments where you have to get up and not listen to that negativity. You sometimes won't even have time to sit there and break down your negativity. No, you know that you have to keep going. You know that you have to keep fighting. And that's why, to me, that message was so important, because it's like, truth is, I don't have time to sit there and let my mind be all negative all the time. I don't have time to sit there, oh, I shouldn't get into this trade because this. Like, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense when at the end of the day, 9 out of 10 times these trades make me win. And I see it over and over again. So it's like, that's the problem. It's like, that's why, to me, I feel like, at least for myself, I'd rather shush it because I overthink or I use it the wrong way or this or that. Where it's like, honestly, to myself, it's just smarter to believe in God, believe that that's what he has for me, believe that that's why I'm even getting into things. God, just because you believe in God and you become Christian doesn't mean that everything's going to be a wave, everything's going to be a blessing, and everything's going to be easy. No. Almost anybody I know that becomes a Christian knows that it gets even harder when you become a Christian than if you weren't, for the simple fact that the devil doesn't want you to be a God-fearing person. The devil doesn't want to lose another of his person. And that's just a fact. So evil is going to corrupt you even more because you're trying to become a better person, while evil and things in your mind and negative things are trying to get you. And you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody came into the world to be perfect besides Jesus Christ. And that's it. At least that's what I believe in. And if you don't, that's okay. But that's going based off of what I believe in. And everybody has their opinion, and that's how I see that, because, you know, the more I've studied, the more I've seen, and the more I've realized things, I've noticed that the more you sit there and fight your mentality and fight it, oh, am I going to win? Oh, am I going to lose? The more likely you are to miss out and mess yourself up. If you were just to jump in, forget about, and this is something that Hector told me. He goes, Efrain, stop worrying about the outcome. And if you think about that in everything in life, you are to be more successful. Because don't worry about the outcome. Worry about you. Worry about you in that moment. Worry about what I can do to better myself. That goes for school, that goes for business, that goes for everything. Because at the end of the day, if we were to worry, it's like right now you're knitting. By the way, Mom picked that up now. You're knitting. You're not worried about, oh, what if this comes out wrong? No. You might have your moments to think of that, but in reality, if you sat there the whole time coming out, oh, what if I mess up? What if I mess up? You're more than likely not even paying attention to what you're doing. So yeah, you're gonna mess up. So it's like, to me, it's like, worry about what you're doing. That's why, to me, it's like, people ask me, especially since I've been trading for so long, how have you been able to do it for so long? Because of consistency and discipline. That's it. Because God has guided me the right way to do that. I have never, and my mom is there for statistics, or to tell you, I have never been consistent in any other thing in life but trading. And it's like, you know how many times, and like the post I made today, you know how many times I have wanted to give up? If I had a penny for that, I'll be a billionaire. But it's just like, I can't. And it's just like, man, I'm not going to, because God has me doing this for a reason. And I believe that because of what I've seen and what I've gone through and what I've done. Just like I said, like, I would always say, don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about the negativity. Try to focus on you. Listen for that positivity mindset. Listen to the good whisper and move forward. If you're worried about the bad one, you're going to keep messing up. That's how I see it, at least. And everybody's entitled for their opinion, of course.
I think, I don't know exactly what you're saying, right? And I think, and it's interesting that all three of our point of views are pretty much the same, right? And it's, it's a reality. I think that as we all look at our lives, you know, I think we also have to think about what and how would we like to be remembered, right? And as people walk in and out of your life, right, it's like your life is like, I always look at it like an open door, right? You meet people, you talk to people, that door closes and you're on to the next door. And so it's always like a rotating door, people are coming in and out of your life. And some people stay longer and some people don't. But I think that thinking about is it better to live a life where you're looking at yourself and you're changing that mindset than you sitting there and it's like with you with trading, okay? Every time you trade, you have a 50-50 chance. There's not like an 80-20. There's always going to be a 50-50 chance. That is a reality.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, either 50% chance you're going to win, 50% chance you're going to lose. That's just how you're going into that. That's the odds there. Okay? It doesn't matter how much you study, doesn't matter. Because, you know, the president, whoever that is, could come out and say some stuff, and guess what? It changes everybody's like investing. There goes the stocks up. Or he could say something that everybody pulls out because they're worried that they're gonna go into this whole thing. So again, it's just all of these different things that can lead to you winning or losing.
Of course, yeah.
And that's how you have to look at life. You have a 50-50 chance every single day. So you either make it a positive one or you make it a negative one, and that's how you need to look at it. That's my point of view, right? It's like, where do I want to sit? Do I want to sit in the winning side, or do I want to sit in the loser side, all depressed, all sad? Here's my sad story. Here's why I'm not making it. Here's why, you know, I had this conversation today, because it's not like I'm making excuses to not hit the target or to, but I think that they perceive that. But it's because there's true facts to what I'm saying. Okay? And in my career, right? And that's work related. But the point is that I have true facts. I'm not making excuses. I think that when you make excuses is because you don't have the full scope of what you're trying to explain, and then you're trying to make excuses for yourself. But when you have facts backing you up, you have proof sustaining your argument, then is it you making an excuse?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, that's how I see it.
Can I say something real quick? Or you're going to say something? If not, you can say it's fine. I mean, I've already done anyway. That doesn't really matter.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna touch on your part and touch on your part like I always do. But I wanna first say that I'm different than both of you guys in the sense where I'm not a glass, I tell this to everyone, I'm not a glass half empty or half full kind of guy. I'm a glass is halfway, because I don't like to measure anything by its position where it's at. I like to measure things from its potential of what it can be. And within itself, I say that I think the biggest thing is that I learned it from wrestling, even though I wasn't the greatest at it, but I know that I wasn't the greatest at it because I didn't put the time, the effort, and what it took to be a great wrestler. But I knew that the moment that you step on that line and you shake the other person's hand and you go, you can't have a moment of delay in your head. You can't have like self-doubt in your head. You just go. You just go. But when that match is done and you usually have someone else record you, you have to sit there and be your own judge, because if you sit there and analyze what you did wrong, you can learn a million things that you can learn from. Now, can that get destructive? Absolutely. And this is where you have to play the game, right? But to play that type of game, you have to practice it. You have to sit there and be like, take a second to yourself and be like, wait a minute, I'm being too hard on myself. But now I know, right? Now I know what I should be doing for next time. Now I know what I shouldn't be doing for next time. And on a certain note, you have to take that with life. Like, you can't sit there and expect yourself to do every single thing absolutely the best that you could ever do it. And on top of that, expect yourself to be mentally okay while you're doing and trying all these things. I feel like that's physically impossible. And that's how I was going to get to your point, where if you sit there and try to headstrong it your whole time, you're going to get mentally burned out. It is inevitable, because if you sit there and don't address the problem that you're occurring in your head mentally, and you keep on pushing it off and you keep on pushing it off, it's going to build up on you to a point where you can't release it right. And I feel as though it is important to, at the end of the night, you might not have someone to have a pillow talk with. And for some people out there, it's to have a pillow talk with God and sit there and be like, this is everything I messed up on. And this is everything that I know that I should be doing better. And I'm going to wake up tomorrow and do that thing better, God willingly, right? But at the same time, you should be able to have that pillow talk with not only God, but yourself. Because I think it's really important to check up on yourself as a person. Just bear none. You are going, like we've all said before, you're going to be your best and worst critic.
Absolutely.
So what it takes is whatever you put for yourself. Now,
How bad do you show up for yourself?
Yep.
exactly. You can go.
Okay. So number one, so I wrote a couple of things down while you guys were talking. So number one, going based off of like what Mom was saying, like at the end of the day, everything is always going to be 50-50. That's literally it. There's no more, there's no less, there's no 25%, there's no 80% when it comes down to like the outcome of things. It's always going to be 50-50. Either something's going to happen or it's not. That's just a matter of fact. And that right there, to me, helps me out so much, because I'm like, man, I'm able to ease my mind, because at the end of the day, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And it's just like the other saying, like, whatever is meant for you is meant for you, nothing can take it away. And I definitely highly believe that. Like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, no matter what. Like, you can throw a rock and it'll come right back, you know, not literally, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just meant to be. And I feel like that's so important for people, because everybody's like, oh, but like, oh, like if I lose, dude, it doesn't matter. Literally, it doesn't matter. Just keep at it. Like, keep at it. You go 50%. And, you know, it's like the most successful people in the world, they're not worried about losing. They know that the chances of losing is there. Obviously, everybody knows it. But they're not worried about that. They're worried about how they can keep going. You know, and I've learned that because thanks to God, I've been able to meet a lot of successful people thanks to Valet. And thanks to me going to cigar lounges and stuff like that, I've been able to talk to plenty of successful people. And that's what I've learned, you know, and they've all told me the same. Keep at it. Don't give up. Don't worry about the negativity. Keep at it. I'll give you another example. One of the people I watch from time to time, TJR, funny guy, by the way, out of pocket, but whatever. The dude the other day lost $400,000 in a trade one day. You think that he was there sitting like, oh, what if I lose? No, like the dude took the trade, expected something to win, and that's it. He lost and he kept going with his life. Yes, may he have the capital to lose it, granted. But at the end of the day, the point is that he was calm about it, because he knows that his system is why he even got in the trade. And that's everything in life. If you're going to go do a business, if you're going to go to school, you should build a system before even doing that, so that you know there's more likely a better opportunity for you to do things in life or do better. You don't want to go into the mindset of, let me wake up in the morning, right when I wake up, and go do my day. No, you have to have a system. Get up in the morning, maybe let's say a couple hours earlier than you need to do stuff. Take a shower, brush your face, brush your teeth, you know, like have a good breakfast. If that's what makes you feel better in the day, do it. A lot of people sleep on the idea of making your bed. Honestly, I used to. But at the end of the day, no matter what, if you make a bed, there's a great motivational speech about it, but there's a Navy doctor that said, or a Navy SEAL or whatever it was, I'm so sorry, don't take the wrong way, but He said at the end of the day, you sleep on it, but you make your bed in the morning, and at least, and you make it good. Not don't just no, you make it good. And when you come home and you lay in that bed, that's gonna make you feel better because at the end of the day, it's the only thing that was made nice and neat. And you come home to a warm bed because it was nicely neat. So at least you can look at something made good by your eye, perfect to your eye.
What it is that you're when you do your bed, it's your first
Chore in the day, absolutely.
no. Your first completed task of the day.
Yep.
So you start your day in a positive already, because even though something so small
Yep.
can be the beginning of what's to come in your day.
Of course, and it's one achievement that helps a lot of people.
Yes, it
You know,
is an
so
achievement.
that's why I say like have a system for yourself. Build a system where you feel good with what you do and it helps you. Yes, you can fail, and this is leading to my last part. It's not saying, and this is more going towards what Victor was saying, like, oh, like from my understanding of what Victor's understanding from us is we're saying just ignore completely the negative side and don't take a lesson from it. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's not saying not to learn from it, but it's more to say don't let the negativity be the one to stop you from doing things. Meaning, you're in the middle of a match, just like you said it, you're in the middle of a match on all these things, oh, but what if I do this and I mess up? Well, you don't have that time. That's how you should see everything in life. Right in the moment, if you're doing something, like for me for trading, if I'm trading, I should not sit in the moment of, what if I lose this trade? No, do it, get done with it, do it and keep going. Mom in her perspective or her agents, oh, what if I don't make a sale today? Don't worry about if you don't make a sale today. Go get a sale. Go do what you have to do. Have your system to build the sale. And if you don't make a sale, or if you do lose the match, then you take the time to, hey, I failed today, but it's not a failure, it's a lesson. Let's break this down. That's what I mean. Every trade I take that I end up losing, I look, Chloe, every trade I take or lose, I look at it as a lesson. I messed up, but hey, let me take a second here to look at why I lost. That's how you turn every failure into a lesson. And that's what's important. A sales agent, they don't make the amount of goals that they have for today. I saw a video the other day. The dude literally had 7 sales that he needed to make in a day. He made 6. His deal to himself was if he loses, he's gonna go sleep on their bridge. Dude had a nice, what looks to me, if I'm not wrong, a condo. What'd he do? He lost and he went, grabbed his blanket, and went under a bridge to sleep. Why? Because that's a lesson for him. Do I want to sleep on this hard floor one more time? And he videotaped it and he showed it. Every couple out, boom, boom. And you think that made him drive to want to go there again? No. But why? Because he made a system after that. Do I want to do that bet again? Do I want to go sleep on a concrete anymore? No. And that's what I say, like, in the moment that you're in something, don't worry about the fucking outcome. Sorry about my language, but it's the truth. Don't worry about the outcome. The outcome's going to be there. Guess what? It's a 50-50 shot. You're going to make it, you're not going to make it. The more you stress about it, the more you worried about failing, you already fucking failed. That's a fact. That's something I have learned thousands of times. I learned thousands of times from so many people. And so in between that, get it done, trusting God's process, trusting God that he's going to help you make it. And when you get out of there, whatever you failed, take a moment back. Every single day as well as I take a trade, win or lose, I have a literal journal. Photo of it, what I thought about it, how much I made, how much I lost, where I entered, everything. Post trading thoughts, before the trading, why I even got in the market, everything. So when it later comes on that I say, you know what, let me go back and see why I lost that trade, all these notes are there. Because that's my system. And that's why I feel like it's so important for someone to build a system, someone to go based off of, let me see these steps. And if I fail something, let me go back and learn why I failed. How can I attack it the next time? Yeah. That's the only way you're going to improve. If you don't attack and you don't learn from your mess ups, you are not going to get better. That's a fact. So it's not to completely ignore your loss or your negativity mindset. It's more as when you're in the battle. When a soldier goes out to war, they're not worried about, in that moment, am I going back home? Am I going to die here? No, they're worried about, I need to get back home. So I'm going to do what I got to do. Because if they sit there worried about, oh, am I going to die? Am I going to die? They're going to fucking die. That's a fact. Yeah. So it's like, that's how I see things. Like, don't worry about no, when you're in it to win it, you're in it to win it. Like, that's how I see it.
Yeah. So Victor, do you have anything else to add on this topic?
I mean, not really. I mean, you said everything. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
When you're in that headspace.
Absolutely.
And that goes to show you that it's always going to be you versus you. Nobody's in your mind. Nobody's in your mind. Doesn't matter who the fuck you want to blame it on. Nobody is in your mind. That shows you, well, besides God, but that shows you that it's always going to be you versus you.
Yeah, for sure. So, a couple of things, right? So, let's pivot a little bit and again, sorry for some bad language that was used today in our podcast, but I guess everybody's a little passionate about it, or like we like to, about it. And I know that's definitely not what God would want us to use that kind of language. And especially we want to honor Him in what we do. But I want to pivot a little bit about, the holidays, right? So I know that there's every time I think about Christmas, ever since I had Victor, I think about his birthday. He has a upcoming birthday coming, and it's an exciting time, right? Because we think about what we're gonna do for Victor's birthday, and then are we gonna take a road trip, or what we're gonna do for the holidays. And year after year, I always save all of my PTO to take Victor's birthday and that last week of the year off. And so I know that a lot of people have been debating on when is the right time to decorate and bring their Christmas out, and so I when I was a little girl, we always brought it out the day after Christmas, so what's considered Black Friday, that's when we
Excuse you? I want you to
decorate.
rewind. I want you to think about what you just said. Nobody picked that up. We're not gonna act like we didn't pick that up.
You said that you
After
decorate
Thanksgiving.
Christmas.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, you said after Christmas.
Sorry, after Thanksgiving I would decorate.
Wait, what do you mean? Black
Christmas.
Friday ain't after Christmas. Hold
Yeah,
on.
sorry about that. Yeah, my brain is fried after driving what feels like 72 hours, because I've been driving for the past 3 days. And I did the same thing last week. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, point is, going back to what I was going to say, is, reflecting back and thinking about that, we've been arguing about when is the right time. And you see TikToks about when is the right time, when is the right time. Santa Claus came out and said, when is the right time, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think is the right time? So I say after Thanksgiving.
All right, we're gonna stop this conversation. I'm gonna say the answer, and that's about it. Cause honestly, this is the right answer. I know you guys are gonna feel me. Honestly, me, I don't celebrate really Halloween like that, anyways. But like November 1st, truthfully, because like Santa says, and you know what I mean. It brings the spice to the table. You have the tree, maybe not a tree, because it's not gonna last all the way to Christmas, anyways. But you have the lights, you have all the decorations. So I would say November 1st, because what are you really gonna decorate for Thanksgiving? A turkey? You're gonna have a turkey in the middle of your house? That's what we're doing, guys.
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins. Who likes pumpkins when you have trees, Christmas trees, that they actually smell good? Do you even eat pumpkins?
I love.
Do you even eat a pumpkin?
I eat a lot of pumpkin. I eat pumpkin every day. I have pumpkin spice latte.
Are we counting that as pumpkin, guys? No, that's an extraction. We're not counting that. You're drinking that thing, all right? We're not counting that. That's it.
It's my
that doesn't
favorite
She's
drink.
cheating.
That
She's
doesn't make
cheating.
sense.
No, she's cheating. No.
If you make a milkshake, are you
No,
drinking
we're
milk?
not. We're
What
not
the
going
fuck
into.
kind of question is that?
We're not going into this. All right?
Yes,
No.
yes, we are.
No.
Yes, we are.
No.
Anyways,
talking
let me
about-
tell you the
I'm not
real
done.
right answer.
I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done.
Okay.
Like I said,
I like these debates.
we got Christmas. We got Christmas. Why do we like Christmas? Because Christmas is literally the best time of the year. Literally, if not. And it's lined up with Victor's birthday. What else can you line up? What else can you want, really? Well, besides my own birthday or your birthday, you know. But besides the point, it's just
my
it's
birthday's
Christmas.
pretty peak.
It's Christmas, like it's the time of joy.
You were born when the baby Jesus was born, okay?
All right, back to what I was saying. Like, it is literally the best time. You have Christmas. It's the best time of the year. It's now it is. It used to be not because of shopping and everybody in the stores. But besides the point, which I wish we could go back to that. I'm not gonna lie. I seen a lot of people talking about. Side note, talking about like bring back.
OG Black Friday?
No, midnight releases at GameStop. Bring them back. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. We should bring those back, but nobody buys discs anymore, so it doesn't even matter. But like I was saying, or you know what they could do? You could pick up a code in person,
Play it
and you
before.
get it early. Exactly, and you get it a little bit earlier. Like you could get at midnight and you start playing at midnight, and then everybody online has to wait till like the morning. That would be pretty cool. Besides the point, I'm going to say November 1st for the simple fact that literally Christmas is the best time of the year. Nobody likes the heat, so summer's out of the park. No, everybody likes October because not even Halloween. 90% of the people like my mom like it because of pumpkin spice latte. That's about it. But you know what I mean. And those that celebrate Halloween, cool. But I don't. So whatever. If you do, cool. That's we don't judge. But like I was saying.
Man, we
November
had a
1st.
great Halloween. We had lots of fun. We made fun of little kids.
Well, no, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Wow. Oh, Chloe, how you doing? Back to what I was saying.
didn't.
November 1st. That's
We
not
did
didn't. No,
have
I
a
didn't.
great time.
We did have a great time. Heading out kids to all the kids. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you guys the real answer, and I promise you that once I tell you this, you guys are gonna be so on board. It's the weekend following Thanksgiving. You want to know why it's the weekend following Thanksgiving? Because it gives you time to also decorate the tree and do all the stuff with your kids. And that's on everything.
Well, that's fine.
You set up the lighthouse, the lights, you set up all the things. Everyone's coming off of Thanksgiving, so everyone's already fat and happy. You are now spending that time, quality time together. So now it's a great time to be like, now let's burn some calories, putting on some lights on the house, picking ourselves up a
I
tree.
say.
Victor's had his Christmas tree all year round.
Yeah,
Did you really?
yeah.
Yes, it's sitting there.
Oh,
I like green too much. It adds like a little accent to the house.
It
But
does.
back to what I was saying.
It's
Like
Grinches all over.
I don't know. I'm stuck on like November 1st.
I feel like
I feel
that's-
like it's so much beautiful. Yeah, fall's nice. Don't get me
Okay,
wrong. I'm not saying
but
fall.
after November 1st,
You're skipping fall. If you're jumping into
Who cares? Do you really know? Do we want to talk about what really Thanksgiving's even all about? Do we really even want to talk about that one?
sure.
It's like if you think about this, right? Like, okay, forget about what the other whatever. I enjoy Thanksgiving.
We all do. It brings family together. I agree.
It's the beginning of the holidays, right? It's the beginning of the
It's
celebration.
more like the ending.
No, it's the beginning. It starts with Thanksgiving, and then
It's the ending.
it
Fall.
ends with New Year's.
Technically speaking, you could say like Halloween would be the start of the.
Fine.
But if you want to say that, but technically speaking, if we were talking about
No. I see what she's saying because
guess
Thanksgiving,
with family.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, you're spending your time. That's like the only time that we would really spend extended like family, like hang out with like people within just our immediate circle, but people a little bit far past that. Most times in Halloween, you're doing what? You're going with just your immediate family members.
Not necessarily, because we used to go with friends and family to go trick or treating. So I wouldn't say that.
Okay, but I'm saying most likely than not.
Likely you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, no. You're definitely granted.
sit
I mean,
around
if you're saying like
and-
family wise, yes, then yes, that would be the start of a family holiday. If you meant like that,
There's
yeah.
nothing like nicer, like everybody gets together and.
That's not the point,
it's
though.
Yes, it is. And we're all being thankful, right?
Granted.
We're all, and that's what I like about Thanksgiving.
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is not the point of like.
I genuinely, and I might get smoked in the comments for this, but I genuinely don't like 99% of Thanksgiving food. So,
Exactly.
but even if I didn't like, I just like being with all of my
Family and friends.
Family and
Agreed.
friends.
I 100% agree. And that's why for me, for me, it's like, I like Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I think it's a great holiday. But it's like, do I rather have a whole bunch of fall stuff around or Christmas stuff? Christmas stuff. Everybody's always joyful around Christmas. I'm sorry. That is just the truth. Like,
Yeah, buddy, but that's some greedy. That's some greedy.
you got some Christmas
stuff.
You got like Jingle Bell playing
That's
in the
some,
background.
no. Listen. That's
can you go wrong
listen,
with
listen.
Jingle Bells?
That's greedy stuff. Okay. The best part about Christmas is the fact that it's fleeting. Okay. Okay. Fleeting. It's the best part about Thanksgiving too, is that you know that you're hanging around all these people that at some point you're not going to be able to hang out with them anymore.
Well, I'm still not taking that apart of anything.
Okay.
To say anything about
but
that.
starting
I'm talking
November
about-
1st, that is some
No,
that is some greedy greedy stuff.
We are
that
talking
is literally like hold on. That is some greedy stuff.
No. You're taking it out of context.
No, I'm
we Are
not.
talking, yes, you are. We're talking. I never said take away Thanksgiving. Never did I say that. I said, and Mom's question was decorating.
Yes.
Decorating has nothing to do
Yes,
with
you're
spending
being
time.
greedy.
Your house can literally spend Halloween the whole year for God you want it to be. You're still having Thanksgiving. That's not the point. What I'm saying is the question was decorating.
Yes.
I personally,
It's greedy.
No, it's not. I personally find more joy decorating the house of Christmas than I would of Halloween or
And that's
Thanksgiving.
okay.
Now, is it saying I hate Thanksgiving? Absolutely not. Because out of everybody I know, I'm one of the biggest person of family. I love my family. I love to spend time with my family and friends. In fact, I've been after Mom to find out what she's gonna do for Thanksgiving, so I can start even asking our family to come up for Thanksgiving if they want to come up. I've been the one telling her that to find out so we can have a Thanksgiving, because the most thing that I love about Thanksgiving or any holiday is being with family and friends. Like that to me just brings me so much joy, because it's literally, you don't know if next year you're gonna have them.
Of
So
course.
that's how I see it.
And
So
again,
back to the question of decorating. I personally love December and I love Christmas. So yes, I think Christmas should be done as soon as possible. That's
You see,
me.
let me hold on. Let me continue what I'm saying. That's greedy. That's greedy as hell. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because it shouldn't be November 1st and you're already putting Christmas lights and stuff up, spending 2 months on Christmas. That's not fair. That's not fair to
Who? The turkey?
to the turkey
Yes.
and
To the
and
turkey that you
and
eat?
and to the
You have to
idea.
go kill the thing?
No,
To the idea, okay? That's greedy. That's some greedy stuff. That's some greedy stuff. Yes.
We celebrate so many things, so why not do it all year round? You're celebrating God anyways.
exactly.
Hello.
why-
But that's different than anything
And if
else.
you're saying I'm greedy for celebrating God's, hey, I'm greedy for celebrating God. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's
No,
it's not
no.
about that. You're talking
What am I
about.
gonna say?
We're talking about decorating, guys. I mean,
I
seriously.
mean, that's what he's.
I'm saying it's greedy the fact that you want to make it a 2-month thing when it should be a 1-month thing, because it should be 1 month, because that is your 1 month that you really buckle down with your
So
family
if we
to
were
do
to
something.
get technically into it, if we were to get technical about it, Mom doesn't even decorate for Thanksgiving.
What do you
Find
mean?
me,
This is
find me a turkey in this house.
Yeah, there's pumpkins. Efrain, it's fall.
it's fall.
It's the same thing about Halloween.
it's
No,
not.
that's the same thing for
And
Halloween.
They're in.
Where's
the
that?
Plates, in the plates in the kitchen.
We have sakis too.
Oh,
And
talk.
it's-
We don't have stockings.
Sakis.
Let me.
I have sake. I have Thanksgiving socks, right? And I had them on just a while ago from friends.
Downstairs.
Yeah, I have some.
Okay, downstairs in each of the plates downstairs, there is a thank you card. What are you thankful for? For you to write down what
There's
you're thankful
that.
for.
There's all the.
On the dinner table?
On the dinner table.
Yes.
Okay, they'll say-
Anything that
No,
says
I know the napkins are pumpkins.
And the napkin.
anything that says thankful on it. Anything that says
Well,
thank you, thank
I know
others.
that part. That's obvious.
We have things in our house.
I just said that I didn't know that she had that. She just decorates more for fall. And when we talk about technicality, Thanksgiving isn't just about fall. We have a lot of things that go into, Thanksgiving. If we were to get technical about it, that we don't do. I don't
Yeah,
see you.
but-
I don't see you putting a turkey outside of your house like some houses have.
Yes, but
That's
they
more
just put
celebrating.
up the decoration, but okay.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
I understand, but okay.
But that's like
That's what I'm saying. Like
That's a choice that you want to decorate outside, okay?
That's
I
like-
don't decorate outside because I like to decorate
But you decorate outside for Christmas?
No, yes, of course, but it again.
Well, of course, you have to let Santa know which houses to go to.
No, and that's yes.
That's what the lights are for.
And that's Armando's thing. He likes decorating for Christmas. He's like,
Who doesn't?
okay, again, my holiday is Thanksgiving, and the month of November, I like to look at my pumpkins. I collect pumpkins every year. I add.
For Thanksgiving.
Before this thing turns off, real quick, this is dying. It's my fault. I didn't charge the mics. I'll be charging them. We'll make it up to you guys with an extra small podcast throughout the week for next week. We'll see when we can do it. Maybe this weekend. Release it throughout this weekend, and we'll keep this conversation going. We're talking about decorations,
And
so to be
during
continued.
And during Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing our podcast because we're going to be filming while we're also playing my first
One-shot D&D campaign.
D&D.
All right. Well, like I said, to be continued. I'm sorry we leave you guys on a cliffhanger.
And-
I don't have time to continue filming her talk because this is about to die. So I'm trying to film the outro. She can talk once again.
Fist bump.
To you guys, I guess to anybody. But besides the point, before this turns off again, I love you guys. Y'all be safe. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Unfortunately, it does suck that we're leaving it at a very close and leaving you guys on a hanger. But wait until the next video. Hopefully we can get it by this weekend because we are a bit busy, but we'll try to make some time for you guys. Other than that, love you guys. Y'all be safe. And if you get, put your descriptions about the decoration as well. Other than that, always like to end these on a positive note. Like to real quick, it's you versus you. Don't ever give up on your dreams. Chase them no matter what anybody says. Chase them. Pray to God and make sure that's where you're supposed to be at. Love you guys. Y'all be
Stand
safe.
on God.
Amen. Good night. And if you don't believe in God, that's totally fine. But don't leave your dreams. Chase them. No matter what the outcome is. No matter what you're going through. Chase your dreams. I love you guys. Y'all be safe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Good night.